PEMDAS, PE, parentheses, exponents, MD, multiplication division, AS, addition subtraction, order of operations, red, yellow, green. If your students can learn PEMDAS in the same order of the colors of a traffic light, the 43% of the students who got one question right that was nothing but order of operations, and 53% that had a whole bunch of words, and then it told the students very plainly that the order of operation, that the solution sentence was written right there for them. All they had to do was pay attention to the equation that was given to them, and they would have been able to do PE, red, MD, yellow, AS, green. So let's take a look so I can help you. And again, I'm working with some 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders next week on some math. They're doing a Saturday math camp, and I would love to work with you on math. I have a math minor, and I taught elementary for 12 years in Mission and in far San Juan Alamo. And I've spent the last 19 or 20 years traveling around the state of Texas in my vehicle and a plane, and traveling around the world in my videos, helping teachers and students with math. But as you know, I'm also a reading, writing consultant, and I've been in the process of writing my book called How to Turn Their Horns to Halos, which is coming out soon. Managing and motivating the minds and hearts of difficult students. And a student doesn't necessarily have to be a kid in a class, could be difficult people, by filling in 8 essential gaps. And one more book, because I'm also a pastor. It's called Overcoming Depression, Discouragement, and Defeat. It's going to be like a 30 to 40 day journey to and through the valley of the shadow of death, using Psalms 23 as an outline of the step-by-step process that we have to go through. Because those last 2, the books that I'm writing, I'm realizing that more and more, some of the conflicts in life have nothing at all to do with content, with curriculum, with subject material knowledge. It comes to do with a lack of motivation, character, structures, stability, and the 8 different gaps in terms of motivation and management. And for some of us, we've just gotten our wheels stuck in frustration and depression and discouragement as a cause and effect relationship of wanting to be the best teacher that we can be, but struggling. So if you're interested in one of those, even though this is a math video on the red light, yellow light, and green light of PEMDAS, make sure you message me or email me. If you're watching this on YouTube, email me at the word writing_doctor, spelled out DOCTOR, at yahoo.com, and I will send you some information on those 2 books. I'm going to be offering a 30 to 40 day free video series on making our way through to and through the valley of shadow of death, based on the order of the verses in probably one of the most famous chapters in the Bible, Psalms 23. So let's take a look, shall we, at PEMDAS and why it possibly gives so many students fits and make something that shouldn't be hard much more difficult than it is. All right. So as you can see, this was number 19 on the 2021 test, and there's the percentages. And all it had was a question. What is the value of this expression? In other words, all of this equals something. What is its value? What is it equal to? Well, even though it's not on there, your students had to know what PEMDAS stood for because of parentheses and brackets being kind of equal in power, exponents, none there, then multiplication, division, then addition, subtraction. So let's lay it out from top to bottom. PE, red, step 1, MD, yellow, step 2, and AS, green, step 3. As you can see, there is no third step. So let's take a look at what we've got first. I see a bracket and another bracket with 4 numbers. Way inside, I see parentheses. And so parentheses will normally take precedence, take priority over the bracket. So inside the parentheses by themselves is 7 plus 5. And so I can tell that probably what happened, your kids were so used to doing multiplication and division first, they were like, oh, I thought we were supposed to do addition and subtraction later. No, if it's inside the parentheses, do it first. So step 1, 7 and 5, 7 plus 5, sum plus add. Equals 12. Now, so I've got a 12 there. So step 2, I'm either going to do 12 plus 3, because I've gotten rid of the parentheses, or 12 divided by 3. Well, since they're still in the bracket, I'm going to keep this up here in the bracket land. Or if you want to, you can move down to multiplication land or division land. But 12 divided by 3, because to me, a bracket is similar to a parentheses. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So then all you have left inside the bracket is the 3 that was already there, plus the 4 that you got when you did 12 divided by division. A numerator divided by a denominator. Dividend divided by a divisor. 12 divided by 3. So we've got 7, and then the only thing that's outside of the bracket is a 10. And so if your students have been practicing, they know if you have something next to a bracket and there's no sign, addition, subtraction, even division, then it automatically means to multiply those. So we had 1, 2, 3, this was 4 steps. 10 times 7 is 70. So the correct answer was letter D. This was 5.4. F, it was a readiness question from category 1 for those of you from Texas, if you needed to know that information. But basically it was just PEMDAS, where not even half the students knew how to do those 4 steps. So with that in mind, let's just go from question number 19, just a few questions later, to number 21, where it gave them a bunch of information that was very overwhelming. But I'm going to skip right past that because it says the equations shown can be used to find R, the amount of money in dollars she earned for each ring sold. And look at the question. What is the money of money in dollars Kendra earned for each ring sold. So the R is the ring sold. And so there is PEMDAS. What's the 625? The total that she earned. Why is there a 7 times 55? Well, because she sold them each $55, and necklaces are two different words. So each in the problem multiply, you would multiply those by each other. She sold 8 rings. And so then you would divide 8, because if the total amount she made was 625, then whatever's left you would divide by 8, because each ring is going to be 8 times whatever its price was. And we'll find out in a moment how much each ring was so that we can get the cost of each ring. So again, thinking of PEMDAS, we have parentheses and brackets. So I have 1, 2, 3 numbers inside. So do I do the minus, the subtraction, the difference first, or do I do the product times multiply first? Since the parentheses are in on the inside, step 1 will be 7 times 55. The product, 7 times product multiply 55 equals 385. Then you still have inside the bracket 625 minus 385, and difference you subtract. How much left? How much left? You subtract. So if I take away the 385 that I got from the necklaces that I sold, I'll have $240. That means I earned $240 on all of the rings. But they didn't ask you for all of the rings, they asked you for each ring. So because this each is in the question, one little clue is you divide, but it gave you the solution. All that's left is multiplication, no. Exponents, no. Division, yes. 240 divided by dividend, 240. Divisor, 8. Numerator, 240. Denominator, 8. 240 divided into 8 parts, or 8 times what makes 24? 8 times 3 makes 24, and 8 times 0 makes 0. So 8 times 30 is 240. So since there are no more numbers left to add or subtract, I've already used all the numbers, and you can cross them off as you use them. Let me kind of show you what I mean. I already did step 1. Then you took away the 385 from the 625. That was step 2. Then you divided by the 8, which was step 3. 1, 2, 3. And so your answer that each ring is worth $30. And as you can see here, only 53% of the kids got it right. And there was a lot of thinking, but I kind of broke down the information from the foreign language that was thrown at your students into a simple way using PEMDAS. And so try setting up PEMDAS. I would suggest that you have your students make their own little anchor charts, that they have some red crayons, colored pencils or markers, some yellows and some greens, and kind of put it like that. And if they laminate it, then they can place a 1 here, a 2 here, and a 3 here. That they remember to do all the steps, all the things in PE first, parentheses, exponents, and brackets. Then all the things in this section, multiplication, division. And if we do addition and subtraction last, then it'll make life a lot easier for your kids, and we won't be getting these 43 and 53% correct. So do me a huge favor, share or tag one of your math teacher friends who is working on PEMDAS with your kids. So since PEMDAS on question number 19 was readiness, that means if you're a 6th grade teacher, PEMDAS would be a supporting question, but I did see some 4th grade questions that also require students to know a little bit about PEMDAS in order to solve the questions. Basic algebraic order of operations. And so I just like the fact that order of operations is 3 O's, 3 circles, and you get to turn them into traffic lights. And again, I never feel like my way is the way, but since whatever way the programs and curriculums you were using didn't seem to get through, sometimes we need to do what I call ED. I need to explain differently. Think of a different way, what you guys call it, differentiating your instruction to help kids who are struggling with the concept of order of operations so that they can make something that's rigorous, very simple. I don't understand PEMDAS, I don't understand order of operations, but I do understand the priority of the colors in a traffic light. So you guys take care. Thanks for watching this video. It would bless me if you liked it on YouTube, if you liked and shared it on your Facebook page so that you can help. This is free. I'm going to be making a 5th grade math surgery practice test based on all of these most difficult 5th grade questions. So make sure you email me if you teach 5th or 6th grade, because all of the readiness questions for 5th grade will be supporting for 6th grade. All of the supporting questions from 5th grade would be readiness questions from 4th grade. But more importantly, the skill, whatever you teach, if you know that your students in your state have to learn PEMDAS, I highly suggest that you apply this technique and make something very rigorous, a lot simpler to be able to apply on a piece of paper and a traffic light. Take care.